we have to recognize, as my colleague professor has said, that we have to appreciate everybody's humanity. People are different. We may not appreciate because, a lifestyle or a choice, or people even claiming that they were born that way, particularly about things we have not ourselves researched or understood. So, how am I supposed to deal with this? Now, I'm confronted with something that goes against what I have believed all my life, and people are telling me to, that this is, a new way of thinking of things. And, there have been in many of the Christian spaces that I'm in, and I'm also speaking now as a Christian, we've had debates, especially recently, about as has been abuse of people in the queer community. We have seen videos of people being stripped on the mere suspicion. We've heard stories of people being killed. And we've had conversations, and I have asked questions.
And you're talking about people who are accused of being homosexual.
Accused of being homosexual, accused of being lesbians, accused of being trans, because women are supposed to look a certain way, and this woman looks too masculine, that man looks too feminine, so they must have done something. And we're having conversations, and then, maybe somebody will ask a question. Well, okay, we're dealing with this sin. How about these other sins in Leviticus? They say we shouldn't mix two garments, of different fabrics. We shouldn't, if people are found in adultery, they should be stoned. We're not following all these laws in Leviticus. Then people get upset that these questions are being raised. And my perspective is that the God that I serve is omniscient. This God knows all things. And this God is has all the power. This God cannot be reduced by any foolish question that I might ask. This God cannot be removed from his throne because I have dared to pose a question that other people are uncomfortable with. God can manage our fears, I believe. God can manage our doubts. God is not changed by, my inadequacy, my lack of knowledge, my standards that may be incorrect, my genuine questions. And I think that, I know I'm deviating a bit from your question, but I think that many of our young people lose their faith when they go into intellectually more challenging spaces, because in grounding them in their faith, we do not allow them to ask questions. The minute they asked a question like, who created God? Akolaboni, how dare you ask such a question? I think that as parents, as leaders, it is okay to hear questions and to say, I don't have the answer to that one. I do not know. Where you feel that you are theologically sound enough to proffer an answer, you do so. Where a question is asked that you do not have an answer, you say, this is the knowledge of God that I have at the moment. This is what I believe. This is what I'm working with. You have asked me a question that I have not thought about, and I don't know. Let's research it. Let's engage in a discussion. Let's see what different people think. I have reached out to theologians on issues because I feel that they should know. And we are not willing to have those conversations. We are not willing to listen. I have learned a lot more this week, on intersex, on the fact that, her sex is indeterminate before 7 weeks of gestation. So there are things that happen, in the womb that allow us to become, quote unquote, and I'm sure I'm not even using the medically correct language, that allow us to become male or female. Something can go off course there. I do not have the professional capacity to understand this, but I'm asking questions. And I think that, we should ask questions. We shouldn't deliberately ask ridiculous questions. But if we have genuine questions, we should ask them. We should entertain them. We should butt heads around them. We should do our research also. We should allow people with professional competencies to educate us, and two doctors will not necessarily have the same opinion. And I think that all that we've seen with COVID and fake news has shown us that we should read. Ghanaians do not like to read. Even this bill that we are talking about, there have been so many.
So that brings me